You're watching this video because you cheated. Yes. And I've cheated too. It happens. But the best thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you these 10 tips that helped me to get back on track so you can too. Sizzle, serve, yum. My name is Melody. This is Sizzle, Serve, Yum, where I've transitioned from ketogenic diet all the way to carnivore full time. And I have been on a diet for 106 days plus. And I'm going to tell you some true methods that I've used on a whole day, a whole week that I cheated on carnivore on purpose to see what tips I would need to get me back on track, because the holidays are going to be coming, and I know that there's going to be times where you want that thing that you usually have during the holidays. So I'm going to help you out with that. All right. The first thing is you need to be accountable. Just say to yourself, yeah, I did it. It happens. It happens. We're human, and we are allowed to also embrace the mistake. So I have learned on this particular journey that making mistakes is actually not that bad, because you learn from them. And now I can kind of teach you guys also what I've learned. You may learn something new to put in your toolbox as a carnivore. So yeah, so that's why mistakes are not that bad. And then also when you're sharing it with other people, it can prevent them from making the same mistake as well. But yeah, just be accountable. Like, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't get so extreme and so down that you're like, I can't bounce back from this. Yes, you can bounce back from this. You just follow the next tip. The next second tip that I'm going to tell you, and this is important, if you journaled, which I really hope that you have been, you should be looking at your calendar and seeing that particular day that you cheated, what activities were you doing? So I've done this. That whole week that I cheated, I looked and I seen it started off with one day of not being prepared. I didn't have anything in the house to really eat. That was for me. I had stuff for the family, but not for me. And then I didn't have anything ready. Like, I didn't have snacks ready. But look also, not only if you didn't have snacks and you didn't do shopping, but if you had social events that you had to go to, or maybe you were just bored with the foods that you were eating, that's important to kind of keep in mind, because now you can build up a plan on each of those things I just listed on how to not cheat if you don't want to. Okay. The third tip that I have for you is also to prepare. And part of that preparation is your meat shopping. You will need to go to your local supermarket and start picking up your meats on a designated day. And like I told you guys before, I actually do shopping twice a week. I usually do it on a Sunday, and then I do it again on Wednesday. I do it twice a week. And it's from shopping in this way that I'm able to keep my costs down low for my meat, for my family. But then it also helps me to be able to not waste any meat so nothing goes bad. But having that routine in place will also help to keep you on track for your diet. Now that we're moving on to tip number 4, that is, you need to just go ahead and dump / throw away, eliminate any of those treats that you might have had or that food that's not serving you. So the reason why I said to throw it away or to get rid of it is so it's not a temptation for you to go back and say, well, I could just have this last bite. I did cheat yesterday, so it should be okay. Every day that you cheat is another day that it's going to take for you to lose the weight. That's how I have my perception of it. And so if you're going to eat that one cheat meal, fine, enjoy it, have fun with it. But then the next day, you want to get it back together. So make sure you're throwing out and removing that from your home. When we're on carnivore, our body goes into what's called also ketosis. So it helps to be able to burn that fat and convert that fat into energy, right? And when we are eating things like carbs and sugars and sugary drinks, that kicks our body out of ketosis. So we're not burning fat, and it takes about 3 days for you to get back on track. 3 days. Oh my gosh. So if you cheated for a whole week, it's going to take you some time to get back on track. You're going to keep going through this cycle of destruction, right? So the best thing to do is to make sure you're getting back on track with carnivore as soon as possible, with the very next meal. And like I said before, don't beat yourself up about it. You that was rule number one. Be accountable. You're okay. We got to just follow the steps at this point. So you got to get back on track onto carnivore. You could have that one meal. But if you don't have a limit and you don't say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna stop, that day can turn into a week, 2 weeks, months, years. And just, you don't want to have to go through that route again. So make sure you're just getting back on track. Reflect on why you started. My reflection was because of my father-in-law. It was an opportunity for him to be healthier, and I wish I had pushed it, but I didn't. But now I'm pushing it hard for myself so that way I could stay healthy for my family. And your goal might be to also be for your family too, be around them, take care of your kids, your grandkids, and maybe other goals. But either way, just remember why you're doing it. And this is one of the reasons why I always tell you guys to always journal. Now, I do have a special journal that I've placed in the description that I use as well. And it's a cute journal. So it's good for men and women, but it's good if you don't have that. You could always use a regular notebook too. But it's important to keep track of all of these awesome things that are happening to you, especially if you're trying to get back on track. All right. Tip number 7 is you want to review your journal and review your wins. So yeah, you did cheat, right? That's okay. But then go back and see the wins that you've had before and think about what's the next win that you want. What's the next goal that you're setting up for yourself? So for me, my goal was to reach 3 miles, right? And I met that mile. I actually exceeded it, and I hit 4 miles one day, and I was just ecstatic, right? I was so excited because I went over the goal that I wanted and I met it. And you can do the same thing too, but I would not have met it if I didn't keep going back through my journal to see what days I hit the highest walking patterns. And so when I look at that, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, okay, I was able to achieve this goal. And then I even went as far back as looking at the first month, y'all. Like the first month I started walking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this day. I was in my living room and I was just walking in place and just thinking to myself, man, it'd be really nice when I start walking outside and I can actually walk like a full mile. And here I am almost walking 4 miles a day. So if I can do it, you can do it. All right. Tip number 8, of course, is you got to get that accountability in. And you can do it 2 ways. The first way that you can do it is if you have a carnivore partner, right? You have someone that's also going on a diet and you talk to each other, right? You could do your walks together. You can call each other. You can Zoom. So many ways. You could use your iPhone to connect with someone via video chat and talk to them about what your progress is and how if they're not progressing, and you can support each other. It's nice to be able to talk to another carnivore because they understand the things that you're also going through, but then they also understand, like, getting that encouragement is so important, and it helps light a fire under you to be able to set the path for the rest of your health journey. And then, of course, you can always come on to this community. We are your support group right here. Yeah, it's free. You always got us. And I always comment on every single post that I possibly can find, and I will always answer them. But you can always just click the link below within the video description, and you can come join our carnivore community. Yes. All right. So we went through tips 1 through 8. The next tip, number 9, which is you can create a healthy vision board. So I'm going to show you a picture of a vision board that I've created for myself that I just placed near my computer. So it's a constant reminder of the goal that I've set out for myself. Yeah, there's lots of different things on here, but I have one in particular, as you can see. It's a person that almost looks like me, but she's at the weight that I am striving for, and she's also healthy looking. So you can put up like little vision boards like that for yourself so you can stay focused. I put it near my computer area because that's where I work and that's what I always look at. I'm not going to sit here and say you can't cheat. We all want to have that treat once in a while. Maybe, you know, Aunt Sarah's making that dump cake again and you want it for the holidays. But prepare your body, prepare yourself mentally. You can also look at this card up here where I'm going to tell you about ways in which you can eliminate possible crashes in your carnivore diet that'll help you to stay on track. You can click up here. All you have to do is just tap that screen and go to the next video.